Well, this week I've got this lovely RS6 in for the foreseeable. This is going to have the full Monty. Although the car looks beautiful, it's dirty at the moment, but it still looks beautiful. I've seen the car when it's been clean, but there are a few scratches and that the owner wants to be taken out. We've got a one wheel refurb to have done from some accidental curbing, but absolutely stunning, and it's going to have never gets old, that don't, does it? So this is we'll have a closer look at the paintwork once it's all clean, and today it's going to be going through its wash and decontamination process, and then we can get more in-depth view of the car. Now, as usual, during the clay bars they get a little bit marred, but I'll try and show some of the damage before I start the clay barring. So first and foremost, let's get it clean and ready for its polishing. Let's have a look round the inside and some of the things that are going to need cleaning. You can see inside the rubbers on the top of the door, they all get dirty. Now this is a family car and they do carry a child, so we've got to expect there's going to be a little bit of wear on the interior. You can see the signs of a child being carried. So we're going to get all the leather cleaned, all the interior is going to be cleaned, all the shiny bits are going to be cleaned, and the not so shiny bits. So you can see just general signs of family use. And we're going to get this car looking, in my opinion, I want to get it better than it was when it was new. So we're going to clean all these rubbers that are going a bit green. It started raining now. See some marks on the leather. That's all going to be cleaned. You can see that the screens, these touch screens, are inevitable that they're going to get dirty, because it is strange that they've done touch screens, because you can't touch them without leaving a mark. But gives us something to do anyway. So we're going to get in to all the places that other bears can't reach. So we're going to start the process now that it started raining, just to add to the excitement of the day. So I'm going to get on with it. At least it'll help rinse it all off. Right then, here we jolly well go. I've just been mixing some snow foam, and with it I've added some about 10% fallout remover in with the snow foam. I'm going to coat the car and let it dwell for 5 or 10 minutes. It's not sunny, so it should be safe to leave on for that long. Let it start emulsifying and moving some of the fallout. The car probably going to be washed at least 3 times today, but while this is on, I'll start cleaning the wheels. So I'm going to get on. Right, I've put the snow foam on with the fallout remover, and it's actually raining outside, which helps a little bit because it's keeping it wet, letting it do its job. Now I'm going to give it another coat of just snow foam, and let that dwell for 5 minutes. And then if it stops raining, I'm going to go out there and clean the wheels. If not, I'll just keep soaking this and soaking it to remove. There's some sap spots on the car that I want to loosen up, and it won't hurt to keep snow foam in it to break everything down. I don't suppose, or I'm hoping that it won't be raining this heavy for all day, so I could pull it inside and wash it, but then I've got to get the water out of the unit. But for now, I'm just going to keep it nice and lubricated. Right, there we have it. That's another coat on. I'll leave that to dwell for 5 minutes. Just going to start getting the wash bucket ready while it's raining. We're using Maguire's NXT pH neutral concentrated. So put some of that in and get some warm water in there. I'm just going to prepare the wheel wash bucket now, and I'm going to use for this auto wash from Auto Smart. Just put a bit of that in, and because it's for the wheels, I'm going to put some of this Red 7 Farouge metal remover in there as well, just a drop, just to give a little bit of assistance in cleaning the wheels. Let's just put those away. Add plenty of water to be loose. Them iron removers don't half stiff. Still waiting for the rain to stop. There's always something to be done. You can see at the side of my bucket I've got my Iron X iron remover, and this should be wheel cleaner, which needs topping up. So I'll top that up, and I've also got to top my tar remover, which is Auto Smart Tar, this which I've mentioned a number of times. So I'm all prepared now. I'm just really waiting for the rain to stop. You can see the car's already had wax on it, and it's beading quite well. If you could see that, let's move that. It's beading and running off quite well, but that's all got to be removed before we start. So for a few minutes I'm going to get a brush, and I'll be using a long-haired, hog-haired brush, and I'm going to clean all the grill and get a little bit wet. So I'm just going to mix some washing stuff into a spray bottle. So I'm just going to get down to the side grills. I'm going to do the same at the back of the car, but it's lashing down with rain, so I'm trying to put it off as long as possible. So I'll come back to you when I can show you a bit more. Well, as it doesn't look like the rain's going to stop coming down in buckets anytime soon, I've brought it inside and decided I'll start on the interior until the rain stops, and then I can take it back out and finish the washing and decontamination. But rather than stand around waiting for the rain to stop, I can get on and do something. So we're going to start, when I unlock it properly, start getting the interior clean. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Right, now I've got it inside and all the doors are going to be open for a period of time. It's important that I keep the battery charged, so I've put my battery charger monitor onto the car, and I expected it to be fully charged, but it's showing 87%. Once it gets fully charged, it will just maintain it. So for the duration of the car being here, this machine will be attached to the car intermittently. You know, I'm not going to walk, you know, catch the wires and whatnot. So I take them off periodically and then reattach it. But for now, I know that the battery's not going to go flat because I've got the doors open. You can see now it's at 93% already, so that's charging. The charging points, or the battery jump start points, on most cars now there's access under the bonnet to them. So now that's on, I can work on the car without worrying about flattening the battery, because there's doorstep lights, as you can see. There's interior lights on, and it don't take long for the battery to go flat. So I just wanted to show that. I don't know whether I showed it on the Range Rover, but that was on there as well. And it's generally on everything that comes in. So that's something else that I probably haven't shown before, but we try and look after the car while it's with us. Right then, I'll see you in a bit. Well, somebody's been to the beach. Now, just lifted the cover up in the boot. Just been cleaning that. Need to clean the underside of it. And this tray. So, I'm going to clean that up now. Make sure all this sand's gone. Give it a good clean. Right, the tray area is good enough to live in. It's all come up nice, got all the sand out. Carpet is now nice and clean, and because I've cleaned all the rubbers out, I'm now going to treat them with gummy fledge. So I'm going to go around. It has a felt top like the old whiteners for the shoes used to have, and basically we're just going to go around the rubbers and treat them all. It's a preservative and keeps them supple. So I'm going to go around. It's a bit difficult with my left hand because I'm right-handed, and now I've got that dirty again. I'll have to clean that, but it's all part and parcel. So I'm going to treat all the rubbers as I go around the car now, and make sure they're all nicely protected all the way around. So nearly finished in the back end, and then I can move on to the passenger compartment. It's looking nice. Like I say, I've cleaned all the drip rails out, and I've still got the window inside to clean. Right, so I'll get on with it and I'll see you a bit later. I thought I'd show some of the other stuff, you know, that we do during the preparation stages. And I've got the car outside jacked up with the wheels off. Obviously I'm going to clean the wheels while they're off, but they're coming off again once it's on the ramp inside. But I've just spent about 15 minutes just scrubbing everything under the suspension I could get to. You know, the drive shaft, anything I could reach I've cleaned, and I'm just going to let it drip dry. I've still got to wash the car. It never got done yesterday with the rain. I got well on with the interior, but I've just got the leather to do to finish that off. But I thought I'd concentrate a little bit more on some of the other details that get done that really we don't normally pay attention to ourselves. We do them, not thinking that anybody would be interested, but you know, rather than just keep showing the same things over and over again, I'm going to try and show some of the little details that get done that nobody really ever notices. So this wheel arch, this is the third one. I'm going to take the front wheel off now and get that done, and then I'll start washing the car again and go through the decontamination stages again. So I'll show you a bit more later. I've been going through the process of the washing and decontamination. All I've got left to do now is clay bar it, but before I do that, I'm just going to make sure all the door jambs get in as far as I can. I've got a long haired brush and I'm going to try and get in around the hinges, around the loom. I'm going to go around all the doors and do exactly the same. I shall rinse it down with a hose, do the sill steps, all the doors open. And generally just make sure that we don't miss anywhere. Now, previous to this, I've been round all these door rubbers. I did show that they was full of crud, but I've been round with a brush, cleaned everything out, and I've already gummy fledged the rubbers to keep them soft and supple. So I'm just going to continue round now. Get this side done, rinse it off before it dries, and go on the other side and do exactly the same. Make sure it's all ready for polishing. Right, I'll see you a little bit later. Right, today or this morning I'm going to be having a look at the leather, and I'm going to try and remove this staining from the leather. Looks pretty bad, looks like milk or something has been spilt on it, and it's deeply stained. So I'm just going to get myself ready. Got the steamer out and we're going to have a go at it. So I'll set the camera up and we'll see what happens. I just need to get the microfibers and everything ready and set the tripod up. So I'll see you in a minute. Now, firstly, I'd like to apologise for the lack of videos that I've taken of the decontamination of the car. I actually ran out of storage space on my phone, which is my own stupidity by loading too many videos on it and not realising. So we missed out a section of what I wanted to show of the decontamination. So the car's now in the light room, and I've obviously done most of the interior except the leather. So now we come to try and remove these stains. So as usual, I'm using Kosh Chemie leather cleaner, which I'm just going to spray on. I'm not going to try and do it all at once, but I've got a soft brush. You've probably all seen this before, but this staining on here is a little bit more challenging than normal wear and tear, so I want to see myself how good this cleaner is and whether it gets the stains out, because those that know that it's quite difficult to get out when it's sat for a long time, but it'll give me a good indication whether it's going to come out or need recolouring, which I've got the colour, so I can do that, but I'm hoping that we don't need to. Just gonna make sure I give it a really good agitation. It is only a soft brush, I'm not trying to scrub it. I don't want to take any of the colour out the leather if I can help it, but the car's quite new, so it should have plenty of protectant from the factory still on there, but we'll find out in a minute. Right, let's get the microfiber on the brush and give it a pull. If any of you are going to try this, be very careful because the microfiber gets very hot, as you can imagine. Right, let's just discard this out the way for a second. We can see, you know, it's pulled quite a bit of dirt out of the seat. Let's give it a wipe down. Well, to me, it looks absolutely perfect, which is a bit of a bonus. I did expect to struggle more with getting that out, but like I say, the car being so new, and when the leather comes from the factory, it has a coating on to protect it, and it's done its job. Now, when I've finished cleaning all the seats, I'll be putting G-Technic leather guard on it, which will help protect it a bit more, but that's a result. I'm really pleased. I did think that that was going to be the hardest part of the leather to get clean, but as you've seen, the cleaner, Kosh Chemie, has done a good job. It always helps using the steam. You know, it does tend to make it release the marks easier than just wiping it over. And of course it's returned it back to its satin finish instead of being a bit shiny where it's been sat on. So I'm going to crack on now, do the whole of the back seats, clean up the backs of the front seats. I mean the bottle or whatever it is has sprayed all over the backs of the seats, so I need to clean all that off. But no, that's a result. Really pleased. And you've seen, you know, didn't take long at all to sort that out. So I'm going to get on and do the rest of the leather, and I'll turn the camera around and give you a close-up of this, because from that angle you probably can't tell. So I'll turn the camera around and show you the results of this middle pad. Here's the close-up. As you can see, back to how God intended. Right, I'm going to crack on and get the rest of it clean. Right, I'm on the front seats now. Get a liberal amount of product. Make sure we get into the perforations, because there's always some dirt stuck in them. Okay. Right then. Not bad. Quite a bit of dirt come out of it. Just going to go give it another pull. See if we can get the stitching to pop. Especially around the bolsters as well, where the stitching always gets dry in there. Right, let's give it a wipe off with a dry microfiber. Beautiful. See, it's taken off all that sheen that you get from sitting in the car and rubbing against it, and the friction makes it look shiny, and it's not designed to be shiny. Right, let's just get now, as I said previously, these are all going to have G-Technic leather seal on them to protect them. The trouble is, in today's day and age, with jeans being used all the time, you still get a lot of colour transfer, and it does wear off the protector. The denim is really abrasive to most products, and this is why the modern day cars tend to suffer more with the bolsters wearing out. Just doing the headrest that's a bit out of view. I can physically see here that the dirt coming out the stitching. Right. And that's what's come out of the seats. You wouldn't believe it, would you? If you didn't see it with your own eyes. Let's give it a wipe down. I'd like to thank my friend Simon, who's just made me a new mount for my camera, so that I can actually film it a little bit better, because I was struggling with the tripod to get it to balance anywhere, and he's come in and seen me struggling and fabricated me a new mounting, which is going to come in useful all over the place, to be fair. So thank you very much, Si. Well, even if I have to say so myself, that looked beautiful. Beautiful. Right, so I'm going to move everything round and do the passenger side, and that went a lot easier than normal, but the car isn't that old, so I suppose it's not surprising that it isn't too bad. So I'll move everything round. I'm not going to bother filming it because it's exactly the same as this, but there you go. That's how I clean the seats. Now they're nice and fresh, no sheen on them, and the stitching has all come out lovely, and obviously as it dries the stitching will pop more. I mean, the seat's not wet, unbelievably, but it's not wet. You know, the steamer comes off in condensation, but as this dries out the stitching will pop. I'll show you later. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Well, I'm getting to the end of day 3, and I know it sounds a long time, but there's a lot of work gone into the inside of this car, with the engine bay, and every inch of the interior has now been cleaned. Every rubber on the car has been cleaned out. Behind every rubber has been cleaned out, and every rubber's been treated. Alcantara all cleaned. Door trims, everything. You've seen that the interior has all been steamed, all the leather, steamed the carpets. These are the overmats, they've been done as well. And we're now ready to start the paintwork, but I wanted to make sure that everything was squeaky clean before we shut the doors and get on with the rest. All the brake pedals and everything have been polished up. I won't show the engine bay again because you've seen that. It's all looking really nice. I would say it's as good as the day it was produced. And now I'm going to be making the paintwork better than when it was produced, because it's not hard to make these cars look better with the way the finish is on these cars. In fact, I think I'll go around and see if I can show some of the defects that we've got. There's not a lot of them, it's just general washing swirls, but there are some heavier scratches, so I'll go around and have a look at them next, and then perhaps tomorrow we'll start the polishing process. Now this trim, somebody had already polished through the edge of this trim, so that's been repainted, and it's just going to get a light polish to get the finish the same as the anodized. Obviously it's been painted, so the finish isn't the same. You can see probably a bit of dryness down these edges on the trim. That'll all be done by hand. I'm not going to put a machine polisher on this because of it being recently painted. You know, it's obviously been masked off to the rubber, and it's just a little bit dry on the edges, so we'll get rid of that and make that look nice. So really speaking, we're ready to start the painting process, the polishing process, sorry, on the paintwork. So next thing is I'm going to send it up in the air, get the wheels off. The under the arches has got to be dressed, but that hasn't got to be done straight away. But first, I think before I do put it in the air, I better do the roof. Now most of it's glass, but there's the finish on the roof panels is not very good, so I'll do that. So I've just got all the masking paper ready to mask the car off. As you can see, I've got the thin stuff and the 1 inch. So firstly I'll do the roof, clean the glass, ready for its coatings, and then send it up in the air. So I'll see you I suppose in a few days when I've got enough content to put on, but you can see there's some bird etching about on the car, plenty on the bonnet. Right then, I'll go around with a light, see if I can show some of the defects, but there's not a lot of them, you know, but it's going to be a 3-stage polish, make it look better. Right, let's just have a quick look around the car, and without the light you can see that there's some scratching, but the minute I put the light on you can see where, you know, this has been rubbed and left markings all over the bumper panel. Also you can see the wash swirls and the normal stuff, so there's plenty. There's quite a bad scratch there as we go around the bumper. Now you don't even need a light on the this bumper to see how bad the finish is. I mean, it's absolutely looks like the surface of the moon, so that'll need doing. I might even have to wet flat it. There's a few bad scratches along here that need sorting out, and some bird etching in the bumper there. Black cars always show this sort of stuff up, and again there's more rub marks from something along there, and holograms and the usual there. We've spoke about the finish on here already, but you know, it has been painted, and that's what happens when you get close to a rubber. But there's a few scratches in the paint to get rid of. There's quite a bad one there. It's quite deep, and we'll see what we can do with that. There's some road rash. Now I've purchased the touch-up paint stick to touch some of the worst in, but along that there's some scratches in the panel. You can see above and beyond the normal on the wheel arch. The steps have suffered quite badly, and both the steps need a good seeing to. Some scratching. Obviously stepping out the car, you know, they're going to get caught. You know, and there's scratches from foot marks, but a lot of scratching from washing. And generally there's a few scratches, you know, on every panel there's a, you know, a deeper scratch, but nothing that free stage polish shouldn't remove. Now the bonnet is it's covered in bird etchings. They're all over the bonnet, and to be honest, it's very frosty finish. It's a bit dull, and marked wash swirls, scratches. But the finish leaves a lot to be desired, but that's what it's here for. And there's another really bad scratch, and it runs all the way around the bonnet there. It could be that somebody's tried to remove that etching, and as you pull it, it just scratches. And there's some more etching, and another big scratch. It's a big scratch. It goes all the way along there. So there's quite a bit to do on the bonnet. The wing is, this wing looks pretty much like just swirls. And the door, the step is obliterated with scratches. The owner did say that he's never been able to make them look shiny, so that's my job. There's a couple of scratches on the door to be removed, and again on the bottom of the doors here, some bad scratching. A lot of road rash on this rear door and rear quarter. I'll have to see what I can do with that to improve its appearance. So generally it's just some scratches, some rub marks, and just wash swirls really to get rid of. But I want to get rid of this dull lackluster finish that it's got. These are the door pillars, they are always marked, and you know, I think we ought to start PPFing these once they're polished, because they're always marked. But let's have a look at the lights. Again, wash swirls on the lights. As you know, they'll all get polished and get tidied up. So that's about what we got to deal with. You know, keep seeing new scratches every time I look. There's another one across the quarter panel. You can keep going around and finding more and more, but it's my job to try and get rid of as many of them as I can. So that's what we're going to do. But firstly, I'm going to start on the roof, get the roof done, because I won't be able to reach it when it's sent up into the air. The wheels are coming off. One of them's got to go for a refurb, and another couple are going to be leaving the building, more for security reasons than anything else, because these are quite desirable cars to be stolen. Although we have tip-top security here, you know, we don't leave anything to chance. So that's it, and the polishing will start tomorrow. So I'll see you soon, and I hope you're enjoying some of the content that we've got. And for those of you that follow all my jobs, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't ever think anybody would be interested, to be honest. Just looking at this spoiler, and the finish is horrible. But there's etching and everything over that, so let's get on and make it look $1 million. So I'll see you soon.